Hi everybody! We at Kin Community have put together a playlist for you of 4th of July potluck recipes. So 4th of July is coming up and this recipe is perfect if you're just not quite sure what you want to make. So at the end of this video, make sure you stay tuned and watch all of the other awesome recipes in the playlist. I am going to be making a red, white, and blue kale and quinoa salad. And for more recipes just like this, you can head over to my channel, Sandcastle Inc. Okay, so the first step for our kale salad is we're gonna need some kale. And if you are unfamiliar with kale, you're gonna need a Kale 101 rundown. So we have two different types of kale here. We've got some red Russian kale and we've got some Lacinto dino kale. This one has the Andy score. If you've ever been to the grocery store and you've seen that, the Andy score scale, this is 1,000. This is the most nutrient-dense leafy green on the entire planet. This kale right here has some antioxidants from the purple. So both of these are a kale match made in heaven for the salad. Now, the preparation for both these kales is slightly different. With our red Russian kale, you're going to take it by the end and you are going to just pull across. And this is a tough stem that you're not gonna wanna eat. So you just put that aside, and then when you have all of this, you would just be pulling the kale across into little bite-sized pieces. For the dino kale, what you're gonna wanna do, again, you have that stem at the bottom, but when it comes up to the top, it's a little bit softer, so you can eat some of it. So what you're gonna wanna do for the dino kale is you're gonna wanna cut it into strips. So you're gonna go and you're just gonna cut it up into these strips. And then when you get to the end right here, you can just cut off that little extra strip of kale, and then you can just toss aside the stems on this as well. Kale does not just have to be put into a salad. In fact, my favorite way to have kale is making kale chips, and they are just as crispy and crunchy as a potato or a tortilla chip. So if you want to learn how to make kale chips, you can just click the thumbnail above and it'll take you to my channel where I will show you how to make kale chips. So there we go. I think we're good on the kale. Moving on. So where there is kale, there is quinoa. And if you don't know anything about quinoa, quinoa is actually not a grain. A lot of people may think it is, but it's actually a seed. And it has a ton of protein, and most importantly, it is gluten-free. And it cooks just as simply as rice. So to start, we're going to take 2 cups of water to 1 cup of quinoa. I'm going to be using white quinoa. We are going to add it to cold water, or room temperature water, to start. We're gonna bring it all to a boil together. Okay, so once you're to a boil, you're going to turn it down to a simmer, you're going to cover your quinoa, and you're gonna let it simmer and cook for 10 to 12 minutes until all of the water is absorbed. Let's check in on our quinoa. We are done. Looking nice and fluffy. I'm gonna turn off our cooktop, and I'm going to spoon our quinoa. Look at this, so fluffy, looking great. I'm gonna spoon it into our bowl. We're gonna wanna chill the quinoa, because that way, temperature-wise, we're all the same. We are going to go ahead and start making our dressing. Now you can go and buy a dressing from the store, but I personally like to know what's in my dressing, so it's very easy to just whip up a simple balsamic vinaigrette. All you need is some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar, some lemon, and a little bit of salt. And then you can just stir it up. This is a super basic vinaigrette dressing, but it never goes out of style. It's really good. So you want to have your dressing kind of get to know your kale for a little bit before you serve it. The longer you keep your dressing on your kale, the less bitter it's going to become, and then more of those flavors from the dressing are going to soak into your kale, resulting in a less bitter kale. So there you go, there's the secret. Now, I'm going to take my tongs to avoid messiness, unnecessary messiness, and I'm going to massage and stir my kale. If you ever heard that term before with kale, they say massage your kale well. This would maybe be a Swedish massage for my kale. The one thing you don't have to worry about kale, you don't have to worry about it getting soggy. So that's why this recipe is so great for a potluck. The whole thing is cold, you serve it cold, you just bring it out, make it ahead of time, and you're set. Chilled quinoa down. Now we are going to combine everything. You're gonna wanna be spooning in a few spoonfuls of your quinoa. I like to make up a cup at a time because I like to keep it in my fridge and I can use it for a ton of other recipes too. So just have a few spoonfuls in there. Give that a toss to incorporate. We got some blueberries we're adding. Go ahead, just toss some of those in there. Then we're gonna get some strawberries. And And if you've never had a sweet and savory salad before, I'm telling you, you're definitely gonna wanna try it. You might not be used to that flavor combination, but it's so good. Your taste buds will thank you. Then, the white part, we gotta have some goat cheese. You could use feta cheese as well, you could use mozzarella cheese. I personally am a goat cheese fan. Some of you know this. And the best way to put some of the goat cheese in, it kind of melts down pretty quickly. It's not a coarse or a hard cheese. So I like to just keep it in its plastic casing. And then I like to just take the fork and I just like to just fork out some little pieces of goat cheese. As it melts down, it's a little trickier to do this, so it's best to do it when it's fresh out of the fridge, when it's a little firmer. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna transfer it into our serving bowl to take to our party or our potluck, and then we're going to put some strawberries, blueberries, and goat cheese on top with our candied walnuts. There you have it, my red, white, and blue kale and quinoa salad. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please make it, bring it to your 4th of July potluck party. Leave a comment below letting me know what you think. So don't forget to watch the other videos in this playlist as well. There are some great recipes that other people are making up for you too. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.